I'm all out of sorts, but I'll still go live. Let's do the live show. And I'm not organized. I didn't make any videos. I didn't do the unboxings like I was supposed to. Let's see. Nilo's checking in. See if anybody chimes in. I know I'm late, so people probably were like, forget it. He's not even doing the live. Bobby Legs is here. Oh, man. I'll have to get some watches out on the table for everybody to look at. AZ Clayton checking in. Craig. Pixel Gasoline. Brandon Bishop. Will Carey's in the house. My buddy Brave Sailor. Mr. Wilson's here with his blue wrench. He's not afraid to use it. Blues Dog 64. Tennessee Mike. Mario. Mr. Campbell's here. Oh, man. Let's see. Cordell. Patrick. Patrick says, bought a Seiko mod off eBay and the movement was dead. Super bummed. Well, that's not too big of a deal. I mean, you can return it. I'm sure eBay's going to back you up on that. Let's see. Homer's here. Sam's dad mustache wax is here. Bill Cat's too long to say. Anonymous Watch Guy is here. Yeah, so I'll put some watches on screen. I don't have anything new and exciting other than like this Seiko is really cool and fun. My buddy Jerry sent this over. So I really like these MM-200s. Let's see here. We got Rosalino checking in from the Philippines. Neo's here. Let's see. Sean here. Will says I need a Laco. Yeah, I'm sure I'll check out that Laco at some point from you. Maybe at a meetup or something. No big deal. I have a ton of content right now, and I got more coming, but I need to make the time to, get the content made, get it done. Like I have a couple of huge boxes I need to open up that are full of watches. So that's a really solid feeling crown on that one. So I took the bracelet off the Helson. I was going to put something else on it. I'm not sure yet. Or I was going to soften the bracelet. So, and today I wore my orange monster. I haven't worn it in a long time. Oh, there's the rocket hand right there too. Boom, rocket. So hopefully everybody else is wearing something awesome today. Blake says, do I still have the SPB 185? I do not. Somebody said, let me read that. Somebody said, Certina has better finishing than Tissot. Do you agree? No, I think they're pretty much on par with one another. They're equals. Which watch company makes the super tired? Oh, that's like a no, I'm actually physically tired. Hey, Detroit Spartans here. So yeah, I did over the weekend. I went up to, hey, Nate Dogg's here. Thanks for joining. So I went up to basically the Keweenaw Peninsula, way up in the upper peninsula of Michigan. That's where my son was going to school and he graduated. So I went up to his graduation, but I also moved him out of his apartment that he had up there and moved him down to essentially Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then drove down and around Lake Michigan through Chicago, Gary, Indiana, and back up to north where I live. So total round trip, I figured out the miles, total round trip was about 1,200 miles. So I did like 400 on Friday and then I did 800 on Sunday. So I got to figure out what I'm going to wear tomorrow. I might wear this one some more, get some more patina on it. Let's see. Still got the Glycine 39mm combat sub. I still got that guy. See, Thumbs for Fingers says G-Shock 5610 with bull bars. That's pretty cool. What's the blue looking watch? I'm assuming you mean this one. It's the Moonswatch, Omega Swatch, Moonswatch. So I polished up the crystal a little bit. It's still got some scratches if you look really close, but it actually cleaned up pretty dang good. So, but it is a plastic crystal, so it's not gonna, it's not gonna remain scratch free. It's gonna get scratches. King Turtle for me. Is that blue or purple? It's depending on what pill you took there, Calico. It's probably purple. Let's see, Red Letters checking in for Melbourne. I'm going to already have my nightcap here. Let's see. Detroit Spartan is, I've exhausted his tolerance for the Moonswatch. He was not a fan of all of the content I put on the Moonswatch. He understood why I did it. Obviously, Detroit Spartan and I are friends. Hey, John Page is here too, and Larry C. But you know, I'm sure he got to the point where it was like enough is enough on on the Moonswatch. And I agree. I got sick of doing the videos on it too. But it's one of those things you got to strike while the iron's hot, right? So I was getting views off it. I was, you know, bumping my algorithm, getting paid. Sam's dad says, "Do you think knockoff Moonswatches will be higher quality than the real thing?" Maybe, depending on what crystal they use. And of course, the antagonist Wilson. Oh man, I haven't had Johnny Walker Black in a while. Let's see. Calico says earning. Yep. Sometimes I gotta. I mean, obviously it's a hobby and I do it for fun, but it's also evolved into a business and there's the money component of things. So, yeah, I mean, some of the stuff I'm doing for multiple reasons, and money is one of them. You don't put the amount of work that I put into a channel and not hopefully get some sort of a monetary compensation for it. Less Moonswatch, let it die slow. Yeah, and it was a hype thing. I'm sure that, you know, like all hype things, it runs its course. You know, I still own it, but I don't know how long I'll own it. But I've already I've already sold it and then got it back. So now I almost take it as like a sign that I'm just like, well, maybe I should just hold it. Maybe I should just keep it. It has like a really cool memory tied to it. So and they're still legit extremely difficult to get. Yeah, I heard I've heard that some Swatch stores are getting them. Bobby Legs, Random Rob, favorite Jerky Boys line. Man, I haven't listened to Jerky Boys in a while, but one that sticks in my head is the prank call where this is a weird one. It's, and I know most people, unless you're like you really know Jerky Boys, but it's like Pablo, come to Florida. Like I don't know. And then there's the other one where there's why would you ask that? Jerky Boys. That's weird. Where they it's a later one. I'm not going to talk about Jerky Boys. Bobby Legs, why the heck did you bring up Jerky Boys? Not you, Jerky Sizzle. Yeah, man, I can't believe you brought up Jerky Boys. I might have to go listen to some old ones now. Has anybody in the chat bought a Moonswatch from the retail location? Well, I did, obviously, but Weeby says, congrats on 65K. Yeah, I hit 65,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Thumbs for watches, LOL. Bobby Legs, yes. Pablo, honey, come to Florida. Yeah. So everybody knows Jerky Boys, yeah. So, Isaac, Rob, for Nightcap, are you drinking Brass Monkey? Yes, I'm drinking Brass Monkey with a bronze watch. And I do realize brass and bronze is not the same. John says, Random Rob, the DW6900 is a rabbit hole you need to go down, finding even more satisfying than the 5600. I never really got into the 6900. Dustin Ray says, new business cards. Well, I mean, I got these a while ago if you're talking about these ones. Yeah, I mean, I did these ones a little while ago. I need to order more. So, has the Instagram, has my email, and I don't know. I liked the colorway. It looked kind of cool. What is your favorite Casio Wave Scepter model? I don't know. I'd have to like look them up again. So, man, I am so freaking tired. So yeah, I woke up at Sunday. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. Let's see. Chris from the Watch Lounge with a $10 super chat says, shout out to Bruce Williams. Had I not taken you guys, oh, he says, shout out to you and Bruce Williams. Had I not taken your guys' advice, it wouldn't be where I am. Good people, guys. Yeah, thanks, Chris. But and you know, sometimes we need those nudges, sometimes we need that encouragement, and yeah, we offered that, Bruce and I offered that to you, Chris, but the reality is you did it, you put in the work. So you know, it's cool to acknowledge, you know, the people that kind of push you to achieve more, but the reality is you did it, you took the risk, you put in the work. And it was a huge risk, you moving to Philly and going to luxury bazaar and everything, and then even once you got there, it's not like you won the lotto and now you just exist. Like, you're working hard there now too. So you know, credit to you, Chris. Like, you're doing the work. So YZ80 says, Rob, what's the watch in front of the Helson? That is the Armida. I forget what the model number is. You can get these in 38, 42, and 45 mil, and this is the 42 mil, I think. I don't know, I might be screwing that up, but it's the Armida. I want to say A1 or something like that. It has a Seiko NH movement in it. Killer lume, beautiful looking dial. Weird, weird bezel action. Like, it, you want to say it's like 120, but it feels like more than 120. It's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird feeling. Whereas and they're made in the same factory. Like, Armida and Helson are made in the same factory, and they're what is it, full swing, I think, or something like that is where they're made. And the Helson bezel action is just phenomenal. Like, one of the best bezels I've handled, honestly. Like, it's very good. So I need to either soften the bracelet for the Helson, or I need to find well, to get the bracelet, let me show you. To get the bracelet where I'm going to enjoy it on the Helson, I need to sand all of these edges. I want to soften those. So, and then I want to do a totally different clasp, but because this clasp is terrible. So, but the bracelet's okay. It just needs to be softened. So I think once I fine sand the edges of it, then I will do the clasp, and then it'll be good. I might just get a mesh too. Hey, Michael, thanks for the $5 here. Super chat says, good job toughing it out. It's been a long couple of days. It's been a long couple of days, but it's been super exciting too. I mean, putting my son through, and also, like, big thanks to all you guys. Like, I know I put in the work and I do the channel and I do the videos and I do the live streams and I do the sales and I do all that. I realize that I'm putting in a lot of work too, just like, you know, I told Chris that he does. Hey, the big risk, thanks for chiming in. But shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. So, oh, I was thanking you guys. So, big thanks to you guys, all of my viewers of the channel, for sticking around and going through this crazy project that I'm doing. Basically, trying to show as many watches as I can. But it's created a business, and that business has made it so I was able to work less at my day job, but also help put my son through college. All, you know, coupled with the fact that my wife went back to work after being a stay-at-home mom for like 14 years. So, you know, both her hard work and my hard work with the help of you guys made it so I could put my son through an amazing college. Michigan Technical University is like a pretty awesome elite like engineering school. So now he's got an engineering degree, electrical engineering degree, and he's going to work at Milwaukee Tool. He's going to do great things there, I'm sure, until he's ready to do something else. Let's see. Oh, we're talking about Hamilton. Did you guys watch that Hamilton video? That man, I can't think. What's his name? Teddy Ballstar did with the Hamilton guy. Some cool new Hamiltons coming out. One, that manual wind chronograph looks pretty cool. So Detroit Spartan says, "Congrats, Rob. You should be proud. I am extremely proud of my son. He did the hard work, man. Because, like, you know, college wasn't like crazy easy for him. Like, he had to earn it. He stayed up late. He learned new techniques for learning. Like, he had to develop his, you know, ability to take in information. So gotta watch that vid after this. Yeah, Craig, definitely check it out. Like, I think Teddy's doing some pretty awesome videos. He does a very good job with videos. Sam says, any opinion on the Duckworth Prestex watches? I checked out the Duckworth, and I gave him my card, but I don't know that we're going to be working together or anything like that. So They look like nice watches, though. Bobby Like says, "I'll bring my shoes and my glasses, so I have them." What do you? Oh yeah, we're still doing doing Jerky Boys, I think. Let's see. MTech still do 3 versus 2. No, they're doing 2 semesters. At least that's how I paid. It was 2 different semesters that I paid. So, but like if you include the rent and stuff like that, what did I pay? It was like 20 about 20,000 a year, so like like about 10,000 per semester plus extras. And I think it was even more when I did the yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of money. If you add it all up, it's probably around 100 grand. Could have bought some cool watches. Yeah, thanks for the congrats on that. So, Canadian Watch Monkey says I was saving for a big eye, and now Oris Aquis chronograph a friend is selling. Come along. What do you think? Well, I'm seriously like the big eye is a watch that I was not expecting to like as much as I do. Um, at least for me, the grade 5 titanium with the petroleum blue dial is freaking amazing. Like I fell in love with this watch and the Longines as a brand and the movement that's in this and the colorway of this one. And even if you get the black and white one, I think it's still a phenomenal watch. But this one right here is just amazing. Like I can't stress to you guys enough how many like you guys know how many watches I see, and I recognize that it's rare when I get a watch that comes across where I'm just like, I think I'm gonna like it, so I'll buy it and I'll try it. But then when I get it and the more I wear it, I'm just like, wow, it's it's pretty amazing. YZ80. So that's like one of the first things that everybody says, even like family and friends are like, are you gonna get like discounts on Milwaukee tools? Are you gonna get free tools or what? Like um, yeah, I don't know. He hasn't even started day one, so he starts sometime in June. And to be honest with you, I'm at the stage in my life where I don't. Tools are great and everything, but like I don't have time to do more work. Like I don't need more tools to do more work. That's for somebody else. I'd rather have somebody else do the work for me. Where's that special edition GMT Steiny? I almost wore that today. I got it out of the box this morning and I almost wore it. And then I was like, I looked over at the monster and I'm like, you know what? It's Monster Monday. I haven't worn the Monster in a long time, so I wore the Monster. But yeah, the Steiny's right here. Yeah, Detroit Spartan. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta have the neighbor do all the work. The problem is I'm that neighbor. In my neighborhood, I'm that neighbor. Like I gotta do the work. So do you feel like the unidirectional rotor spin more in the titanium versus steel? Well, there's 19-gram difference in weight from the steel to the grade 5 titanium. So I think like percent wise, you might feel it a little bit more, but it might be a little bit of a placebo effect too, because you feel it in the stainless steel one for sure. And I mean, it's the most rotor wobble I've ever felt. So uh, I don't know. I actually kind of like it. And if I wear this for like 3 days, I will end up taking it off and putting something else on. And then I swear to you, I'll feel like ghost wobble on my wrist when I'm wearing something else that doesn't even have rotor wobble. I like get so used to feeling the wobble on my wrist that it feels like it's always doing it, even when it's not doing it. So I don't know. I dig it. I like it. I love this watch. Maybe I'll wear this tomorrow. Or no, tomorrow's Tuesday. Maybe I'll wear the Pelly tomorrow. Uh, did I tell you guys I picked up the MRG? I don't know if I told anybody that. So I picked up this guy off my buddy Jerry, the new official Stealth Wealth. So MRG is mine now. It was one of those watches I could not afford to not buy it. Like I had to have it. Detroit Spartan, not a fan of the rotor wobble. Yeah, I get it. Some people just can't stand it, and I mean, 3 years ago, I was probably in that camp. I was probably like, nah, I don't want to deal with the rotor wobble. But in this thing, I don't know. I just like it. Yeah, Detroit Spartan. Yeah, I could see where it would actually feel cheap or something. What else does that? There, I have another watch that just the rotor wind feel of it, like it feels cheap, even though it's not a cheap watch. It's actually really cool. Let's see, how does the finish hold up on the MRG? So far, so good, and I've worn it quite a bit. I actually wore it to San Francisco, pretty much the only watch I wore there. But they have it so it's pretty well dialed in as far as the scratch resistance on it. What is up there though? But I haven't done like a full inspection on it. I need to like clean it up and see how it looks. But yeah, so far it's holding up pretty good. I'm sure it'll show some scratches over time as I wear it, but you know, they they did some things to make it more scratch resistant, I think. But it is ultimately it's titanium, and I know it has a coating on it, but it's I'm sure it's going to scratch, and I'm okay with that. Like it's still a G-Shock after all. Like I it's hard to treat a G-Shock as a luxury watch, even when you know it's like retail on it's 3,500. I mean, I got a little bit of a deal on it, so I didn't pay that, but oh man, Aussie expat. I was like reading your thing. So Aussie Expat says, "Can you recommend a watch that's basically an Oyster Perpetual steel case, classic design bracelet, but quartz under 400?" Like I had some things that were going to be like kind of unique, but still similar ish, and then you threw in quartz, and I'm like, I don't know about the quartz. That one kind of threw me off. Sam's dad says, "Do you think the Bulova Devil Diver is an upgrade from the Seiko 5 Sport?" No, I think quality wise they're probably about the same. The depth rating, like the Devil Diver, is going to be like more of a true, you know, diver with a screw down crown and everything. But they're I don't know. I think the Seiko is more comfortable and arguably better looking, maybe. It's not so Hamilton makes some good quartz watches, guys. If you look at like the khaki lineup, they have some uh, quartz models, but it's not going to look like a Oyster Perpetual. Wow, I'm so tired. Okay. Devil Diver has Sapphire. Yeah. Eh, I think people, I mean, Sapphire's great, but Hardlex is fine. I don't really have a hard time, you know, justifying Hardlex on most watches. So, yes. Mike W said he picked up a Longines Big Eye Titanium. That gives a thumbs up for me, man. Like, hands down, like, I'm not typically a chronograph guy, even though I will dabble, but like this is easily the chronograph that's going to stay in my collection now. I mean, it really even had me thinking when I was Cowboy Swami. Yeah, I had a good night's sleep last night, but I didn't go to bed till like midnight, and then I woke up at what 6:30 or something. So not too bad, but really having this Big Eye. If I wouldn't have had this is gonna sound weird, but when I was fantasizing about getting the actual Omega Sapphire sandwich, right? If I wouldn't have had this Big Eye, I would have actually bought that watch. But because I had the Big Eye, I the Big Eye, along with a few other facts, kind of talked me down from that ledge of buying the Speedy. I know that sounds crazy because you know Speedy's iconic and it's you know obviously way more iconic than the Big Eye, but yeah, in Detroit Spartan, I 100% agree with you. At some point, I will own a Speedy, but that was the other thing that kind of talked me down off the ledge is like there's so many of them and they're kind of always available. So there's really no rush to it. And I have a like too many watches in my collection right now. So I need to enjoy what I have for a little bit and then maybe I mean, before you know it, we're going to be halfway through this year. So I might even push out a speedy purchase maybe to like 2023. Let's see. Mr. James Duffy is here. Will Carey says, nah, I don't need a speedy. Oh, that's a good idea, Weeby. Weeby actually brought that up. Expat is look at Vair on Bracelet, and those are actually some of those use the Ameriquartz and they're U.S. assembled and everything. That's a good idea. I forgot about them. And yeah, to Will Carey's point, I mean, I really don't even need to buy any of these watches. So I could, with this channel, like I could just wear the watches that people send in. I really don't even need to own a watch. But what the heck fun is that? Let's see. Sean is asking about. That's what I heard about Yama. Was curious. Let's see. Tom for watches says, if I get another speedy, I want the broad arrow. Moonwatch is kind of overplayed to me. It's overplayed, but like if I've never owned one, it's still iconic, and I definitely want to try it. So. Bobby Legg says he got a chance to look at the newer speedies with the new bracelet. He loves it. Anonymous Watch Guy says he needs to sell about 50 watches. Yeah, I think there's quite a few of us in that boat. Not me, but... I love some of the banter we have between each other. There's some decent friendships that we've created through these groups, man. Rainy Marsh, solid question. If I were to keep only 3, in my current lineup, if I were to only keep, that's, you know what, man, that is too tough. That is, I don't think I could do it. Like, you're forcing me into a scenario that I do not like. So, I mean, the sub, the Air King, which the Air King is what I wore this weekend. I only brought one watch up to the graduation. So I'd probably keep the sub, the Air King, and I'm gonna bend the rules on your 3. Because I feel like, you know, it's a silly game anyway. So I feel like the Monster doesn't count. Okay, Monster doesn't count because I've owned it so long and it's iconic to the channel, right? So I'm going to keep the sub, the Air King. The Monster doesn't count. G-Shocks don't count. And I'm going to bend my rule where I said, you know, more expensive G-Shocks have to count. Okay, but if I'm only picking 3, G-Shocks don't count. So I keep the MRG. I keep the Bling Master. I keep my plastic G-Shock. So I still get one other watch. What do I keep? What do I keep? This is the tough one because do I keep my Breitling Super Ocean? Or do I keep the Pelly? Or do I keep the Big Eye? Yeah, you know what though? The SKX doesn't count either. Okay, the SKX doesn't count either. So, because this was a gift, so really, and I need it for references on the channel. So the SKX doesn't count, Monster doesn't count, G-Shocks don't count, Micro Brands don't count. So I can keep the Avalon, in the Steinhart if I want, and also technically. Yes, the Big Eye exists now, but the Big Eye is based on a watch that Longines didn't even know existed. So the Big Eye doesn't count, okay? So the Big Eye doesn't count, so I can keep the Big Eye. And, all right, so I know this is going to sound strange, but technically because I have 2 Breitling Super Oceans, this is kind of like a sub-collection, so it shouldn't count in the main collection. So Breitling Super Oceans get a pass because I have 2 of the same. Okay, so now my 3 is basically the sub, the Air King, and I'll keep the Pelly. Yeah. So there, the sub, the Air King, and the Pelly, and everything else gets like diplomatic immunity for one reason or another. Do I need to cover that again? I think that made sense to me. I mean, if you don't think about it, that makes sense. YZ80 says, am I still thinking about the 39.5 millimeter Planet Ocean? I was actually looking at the 42 millimeter, and Yeah, I still feel like I need to check that box. So I haven't owned a Planet Ocean, so that's probably honestly the Planet Ocean is more likely than the Speedmaster at this point. Sean says that's some U.S. government math there. Yeah, it pretty much is. So Rolex family watches and technicalities. Yeah, basically. I got to skip some comments here, guys. I'm sorry. Makes total sense. Yeah, makes sense to me. By that math, I have a tiny collection too. Right. There's because there's sub collections, and then there's gifts, and then there's memory ones, and some of them just you got to get creative. Hey, my buddy Manny's here. Hope everything's good with you out in the West Coast. Mark says, Rob, it's over. I count like that too. 1, 2, 4, 9. Will Carey says, so Will's wrist is a little bit larger than mine. I forget what your wrist size is, Will. And he's thinking about picking up the yellow dial 44 millimeter Breitling Super Ocean. I 100% support that. But also, like everybody, anytime you guys go talk to a Breitling, anybody with maybe potential direct connection to Breitling, let them know that we all want yellow dial 42 millimeter Breitling Super Oceans. Let's see. I'm going to try to say your name. Domingo Corona says, "Hey Rob, I'm usually here and don't say hi. Hi. So hello. Thanks for chiming in." Will says wrist size 7.5 to 7.75. So that's the other thing. And my buddy Craig G pointed out, and this comes down to like bracelet clasp mostly and adjustments. That the larger the wrists, the larger the percentage of adjustment needed because it's all a percentage thing. So say your wrist swell is like 3%. Well, 3% of 6 3/4 inch wrist is totally different than a 7 3/4 inch wrist. Simple math, right? Unlike the math I use to pick my 3 watches as keepers. Sam's dad says, would owning a Bulova Computron make me cool? I mean, maybe get the Nixon Dork 2. I think that cool factor on the Nixon Dork 2 might even be higher. Manny says Rob's getting those frequent flyer miles with the meetups. Yeah, but I fly from different places and I fly different airline carriers, so like I'm not really accruing anything. I should be doing it. I don't know. I'm not very good at traveling as far as like being savvy with earning points or anything like that. So I'm pretty terrible at that. Sean says opinion on the Zenith Defi. I like Zenith. I've never owned one, but they're pretty cool. The big wrist with that. Okay, this is a strange. He says 8+ inch wrist. The 44 millimeter Breitling is very big. Bring on the 42 yellow. Interesting. Like I could even wear the 44. I prefer the 42, but again, that's just going to come down to personal preference. And that's legit how it is. I was actually just having that conversation with my buddy Wilson, Detroit, and Craig G in a little side chat we have. And I was kind of lusting after a white dial Rolex, just lack of sleep. And I was just thinking outside the box, and there's not a whole lot of white dial Rolex out there if you really look at their catalog. So, but the one I really liked was the white dial Milgauss, which is, since discontinued. And now if you want to buy one, you're looking at like 13, 14 grand. Well, I'm not going to do that for a Milgauss. I'll wait until Rolex introduces like a white dial Air King or something. But I've also really liked, and I've always kind of wanted a white dial Datejust 41. But then I really want a Jubilee bracelet from them. But if I go with a smooth dial, the Jubilee doesn't look right, kind of. So you almost have to go with the Oyster. But regardless, so they were all like, Rob, just get the Explorer 2 Polar and move on. And then I said, well, I don't like the way it looks on my wrist. It's 42 millimeter, and I know I wear 42 millimeter watches, but that one just looks too, I don't know. I just don't like the way it looks on my wrist. So, yeah. The obvious choice is the white dial Explorer 2. However, I don't like the way it looks on my wrist. So if they did a 39 or 41 millimeter white dial regular Explorer, then I would be all about that. But the more I think about it, I think I could I think I would be very happy with a Datejust 41 white dial, smooth bezel, probably on Oyster. And yeah, now the Milgauss has the same case as the AK, and I really love this setup. So the white dial Milgauss would be awesome, but I would have wanted it at retail. I don't want to pay the fair market value for it. Detroit, yeah, I'll try the Explorer 2 on rubber later, because honestly, that's probably what I thinking I'm gonna do if I get like even if I got the Datejust 41, is I would go with some different strap options. I would treat it more as like a nice casual watch that I could put it on leather, I could put it on a rubber, and I know the Rolex bracelets are amazing. I get it, but I already have two, so the third one I would actually switch it up and make it a little more versatile. Let's see, Power of Hydrogen says, "Do you like the Moonswatch?" I do like the Moonswatch, but probably not for the same reasons that other people do. I like the story that went with it. I like the concept that Omega and Swatch did, what it did to the watch industry. I mean, at least in my lifetime of the hobby, I have never seen the response worldwide, to a particular model. People waiting all night long, and then a lot of people not even getting them. I mean, that's like kind of crazy history making in the marketing department, at least for uh, a watch brand and stuff. So, do I like it? Yeah, I like it like that. But do I like it like I'm going to wear it all the time and I think I should buy more? And do I think you should buy them? No, I don't like it like that. I like it with like just the experience of it. Jesse says I should get a Grand Seiko white birch. 100% not buying a Grand Seiko. That's not going to happen. Uh, Sebastian, they did the same thing for me initially. So the Moonswatch made me want the Moonwatch more. Just like you said, I'm happy for the hype. Need more enthusiasts. It would be kind of fun if they maybe just pulled it off the market, or maybe in the future, what if they pulled the Moonswatch off the market, and then when you go buy a real Moonwatch, they maybe just give you a Moonswatch as like a collectible thing. I don't know. The possibilities are endless with it. Really, I think they're going to keep making them, and they're just going to do different colorways. Detroit Spartan says I should put it in the microwave. You know what? How many views would that get, Detroit? Maybe I should microwave this. I wonder how many views microwaving a Moonswatch would get. If that does well, maybe I'll do that, because I've already gotten my money's worth out of this thing. So, yeah, I'm not gonna shoot it because it'd probably get demonetized, and I've already shot a watch way a long time ago. But yeah, I could microwave it. I'm not gonna boil it. That's kind of boring. Excuse me. Say I'm tired. I can't speak. Like one planet per year with online availability. Yeah, there's tons of options. Seth, so you guys would watch it if I microwaved it? I'd have to figure that out. I don't know. Paul B says Rob's Grand Seiko hate is a rare thing these days. It's not even that I hate Grand Seiko. It's just I think Grand Seiko is just a weird thing that like you got to be like really really into that. You got to go down that rabbit hole to really do it. So. Steve Tomko says, went with Seiko King Turtle, save the ocean for Hawaii trip. I still haven't been to Hawaii. That's awesome. Still have time to cancel. Any suggestions for another watch under 500? No, dude, King Turtle. Just get the King Turtle. That Detroit Spartan actually does this too. He's got a King Turtle and he wears it on vacations, on trips like that. It's perfect. It's got the sapphire crystal. It's got I don't know if it's actually a ceramic bezel insert, but it doesn't matter. It looks like ceramic, and it's a great looking watch, and it's safe, 100%. Get a King uh, Turtle and just take it to Hawaii and move on. Probably put it on, a rubber strap or the silicone strap though. I wouldn't wear it on bracelet because with water swelling and all that stuff like that, like it's just gonna be super versatile. I say go for it. I don't have one, but and then yeah, just do that. And then later on, my buddy with Clockwork Republic, he's going to come out with the turtle strap fitted end link like this, and then you could put that on the King Turtle. That would be cool too. Let's see. Oh, thing. A King SKX would be cool. Yes, a King SKX would be cool, but we're not going to get the SKX again, probably for a long time before they do it again. Let's see. Sam's dad says, "Do you think spring drive and a non-grand Seiko is heresy?" No, I think spring drive is just a movement, so you can put it in any of their lineup. I don't have a problem with that. Brad says he's got the green grenade dial in his turtle. That's a really cool model too. Let's see. Mr. Polo says he picked up the GMW B5000MB after watching your unboxing today. Looking forward to it. That's the matte black one. I already sent that back to Mimo. That's a really cool model because the way they did the bezel, much like they did on, well, all of them really, if you think about it. But the gold, it looks still kind of gold, but they brushed it. But what they did on that matte black one, well, you guys already saw the video, but they like matte blacked everything and then they brushed it so it went through the ion coating, so it has a really cool effect to it. It's very very good looking watch, and with the ion plating, depending on how you wear that thing, it will show marks. But G-Shock actually put out like a patina model like that a while ago, and it looks really cool even with some patina. Bulova surfboard opinions. Oh, I had one. The white with the orange or whatever. Yeah, Sean, that's actually a really cool watch. Very cool watch, and it's cool. It's quartz too, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They did a automatic one, but it was super limited and more money, I think. Brad, I just scrolled back up. Brad says Seiko 5 GMT thoughts. I think it's gonna be a home run. I hope what they've done, and I haven't researched it enough. Maybe you guys already have about what movement they're going to use, but I suspect it's going to be a modified movement that's in the other true Travelers GMT watch that Seiko did. That's just over $1,000. They're going to probably like reformat that, and hopefully it's going to be a Travelers GMT and a 5KX case. I mean that's Seiko home run material, because honestly, I love the SKX 5KX chassis. I like the design. I like the colorways. So if they're going to throw in a Traveler's GMT in there and they're going to keep it around $500, that's, I mean, even with the quality control issues, right? Forget about all that. It's still, it's going to be nuts. I mean, nobody has done that. An automatic Traveler's GMT, $500 range in a cool chassis. It hasn't been done. So it's going to be a home run. Kevin says it's going to be like a 4R34 or something like that. Let's see. Poopy Finger says, have you ever handled an Omega X33? If so, what are your thoughts? I don't think I have. This watch seems like they're bored. Sean says, new Timex GMT, Timex Q. Do we even have a need or want this watch? I think a lot of people are going to like that watch too. I'm probably not going to pick one up, but if I get the chance to video it, I will. Who does those rubber straps with end links? Brian, I just did a video the other day. It's Clockwork Republic. So in that video, I put a link, which is an affiliate link. So it's these guys. I mean, you can either go to my video and click the affiliate link. Maybe I'll put one in after this video loads, I'll put one in here too, because I've shown it. But it's Clockwork Republic. You could just search it up, Safari, Google, whatever search engine you use, Clockwork Republic, and it should pop up. And I don't know what the conversion is on it, but it's an FKM rubber, fitted links. They have some colored links. There's going to be more models coming out. I think he's doing the Samurai next. So I have a couple Samurai watches coming into me. So when those come in, I'll show the Samurai, and then the Turtle will be soon after that. And then I don't know what he's going to plan on doing after that. Those are all 22 mil. So I don't know if he's going to try to do a 20 mil. Like I would like to see, a 20 mil might be too hard to do. I'd like to see like the MM-200, but it might be too hard to do. So 20 mil lug width might be too hard to do with this particular design. You might have to focus just on the 22. What do you think about the new Zelos Hammerhead bronze? Let me grab it. Hold on. I didn't do a very good job about grabbing watches to show you. I think it's a killer watch. There were some subtle changes on it. I'm not super familiar with the earlier generations of the Hammerhead, but I know they changed some of the dimensions and they made this a little bit smaller, a little bit more wearable. But yeah, killer watch, massive. That's got to be like an 8 mm crown. Great looking bronze. They sent me this meteorite dial. It looks amazing. The lume is outstanding. I mean, it's just classic Zelos, right? It's just well constructed. I did notice it's been a while since I've handled the Zelos diver, but they kind of strayed away from their handsets, how they had the lines in them and stuff. These ones are just more like just big, broad filled handset for this guy, for the hour and minute hand. So that's a little bit different than the tradition. But and the strap, they did a really good job on the strap too. So it's kind of isoframe-ish, but it's thinner. I kind of have an isoframe right here. And it's not an isoframe, but it's the same style. But you can see how thick it is versus this one. So, and that makes a huge difference in the wearability. This is the one thing I kind of don't like about the isoframe style. Like this one isn't, it's a different brand, but Zelos thinned it out. So they made it, it's like they're making watches for us to actually wear it out of the box and be comfortable. Like they kind of know what they're doing. So I'm going to put it on wrist, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. I think this just released too, didn't it? Did the Hammerhead just come out? So yeah, there we go. Now, if you're super chubby, which I'm borderline there, some of your, that's the other thing with straps that have like the big slots like that, like the chubbiness of your, fat or whatever, it's gonna like kind of push through there when you try to wear it tight. So something to think about with the ones that are slotted like that. But really great looking watch. It wears good. 7¼ inch wrist. Good bezel action. Solid 120 click. Yeah, you get some really fun tan lines too. So that'd be kind of funny because it's going to look all pale here, and then you're going to have like the pale strap, but you're going to have like 3 tan lines there, potentially. Could be kind of fun. I love the strap. This watch is cool. It's a fun watch. I'll set it out here somewhere. Let's see. Easy Taz fan says, had an earlier version of the bronze Hammerhead, nice but too small, so sold it. Let's see. Sean Riley says, Spinnaker has been advertising their watches a lot recently. They all seem to be just too long lug to lug. I didn't get a chance to really talk to him, or I had a chance to talk to him. I just didn't. But Spinnaker was at that San Francisco wind-up show, and they had some pretty cool looking watches. And Kevin says, you didn't mention the Omega Pro, I can't even say it, Ploprof in Your Terrific's YouTube video. Well, I didn't mention it in his video, but I showed it in my video that I did. So watch my video, I guess. Hands down, the coolest watch that I was able to check out at the show was Evan from Your Terrific's YouTube channel. Go check his YouTube channel. It's awesome. He's going to pass me in no time. He does phenomenal work. But his Omega Ploprof was like just an amazing watch. And it's the titanium one, so it's really cool. Floridian checking in, said he missed most of the live. That's all right. It looks like some people chimed out too. It's late on Monday. And Sam's dad says, I think you need to review a Freestyle dive watch. I've had a couple of those on, I didn't have them on the channel, but I had a coworker that had one. I changed the battery for him, cleaned it up, a new gasket on it. Some of the older ones, and you can get them dirt cheap on eBay. Some of the older ones I actually really like. I think they're really cool watches, but they have some mineral crystal on them. So like a lot of them are going to show up scratched and stuff. So it's kind of a bummer on that. But say Pyle says, which one should I get first, the MM-200 reduced or the Sumo? So those are apples and oranges there. Hi, David Williams, for chiming in. Appreciate it. So depending on your wrist size, I think the MM-200 is going to be a safe bet. The Sumo wears really good, and I know people that have a smaller wrist that wear the Sumo, but even if you have large wrist, small wrist, or whatever, the Sumo is actually just a large watch. So I feel like the MM-200 is a safer bet. Old Sumo or new Sumo, doesn't matter. They're like the same size. So let's see. Joe says, get the Sumo. Is that a real orange monster? If so, how much? Is that a real orange monster? Yeah, it's, what do you mean how much? It's not for sale. None of these watches are for sale. This is my orange monster, the iconic orange monster that I've owned since 2014. It is authentic. It is pre-Prospex X, which 2014 was about the transition time. So late 2014, they started putting the PS Prospex X on the dial. This was an earlier 2014, and it is a not made in Japan one. It's the K model, so it'd be the SRP 309 K1. And I think my wife bought this off Amazon as a gift for me. And I want to say she paid like, I'd have to look it up. It should be my Amazon thing, but she paid like under 200. I want to say it was like $170 or something. It was crazy cheap. So yeah, I definitely have got my money's worth out of this watch, and I plan to continue to get that. Yeah, Floridian says he wouldn't take my $1 million offer on the Monster. Well, I mean, I'm crazy, not stupid. If somebody offered me $1 million for it, I probably would sell it. But Isaac says Rob is the Nightcap kicking in. Yeah, I did a pretty decent pour. I'm probably a little over halfway on it, so I'm sure I'm starting to like mellow a little bit. How about a quick look at the Nodus? Man, we can do that. This Nodus is so freaking awesome. Plus, my buddy Calico bought the blue one. I mean, Will actually, if Will's still in here, Will bought. Or wait, did Will buy a Nodus? No, he was wearing a Nodus, but Will's buddy bought an orange Nodus Retrospect. Did Thomas K? I think Thomas K bought a Nodus. There was like 3 or 4 people just around me that bought a Nodus, and obviously other people that were coming through had bought them too, and they had just released. Well, Mark, they're kind of holding them for the show and stuff, and so they're getting their inventory figured out. But they had just released these bronze ones, so I don't know if they're. You might want to email them. You might be able to pick one up still, but yeah, this thing in green is awesome. Yeah, and you're right. The handset, that's where I recognize it from. Neff said that, can I have a Blancpain handset on there almost, or the hour and minute hand anyway. Oh, Will said, I was right. So Thomas K actually picked up the Retrospect green. So yeah, this thing though, home run, absolute home run build. And I liked the Avalon in the stainless steel, but as soon as they come out with the bronze, 100% instant buy. I was like, perfect, because I was waiting, I was looking, trying to figure out what bronze watch I wanted to add to the collection. And look how different the bronze looks. I mean, Zelos did like almost like, I don't know what they did. It's almost like a rose gold looking bronze. It's like very pink looking, whereas the Nodus one is very almost brass looking bronze. I know brass and bronze isn't the same, but not all bronze is the same. There's different compounds of it, but I love the gold look to this. It's going to warm up really nice. I should probably learn some metallurgy. Use the bezel. I can use the bezel. The bezel action, so that you have ceramic ball bearings in the bezel. It's all about the ball bearings. It's crazy audible. I mean, that's a very loud bezel, but nice and snappy sounding. And I don't know, a little bit of play in it. Calico says these are old shell casings melted down. I don't think so. Yeah, close enough. But you can see like the crown's already warming up. All I'm doing with this one is I'm just wiping it a lot, but I'm gonna let it warm up. I'm not gonna like do the lemon thing or try to clean it up. But I had another buddy of mine, Joe and the Badger, like he might pop in. I don't know. He usually doesn't get on the live streams. He's usually working. He's a professional tattoo artist. But he has the LaVenture bronze watch, and I tried his on, and the bronze on it, like usually they get really, really warm color tones or maybe even a little bit of green, but his just looked like, I don't know, just like old worn bronze. It looked so good. And I'm like, dude, what did you do to make it look like that? He's like, no, I just wipe it down a lot. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna wipe it down a lot. So after I get done wearing it, I'm just gonna wipe it down. And hopefully I'll have a similar look. Floridian. What about a black bracelet instead? I think they nailed it with the strap as well. It's thinner and it's FKM rubber, I believe. And then they like sewn in on top here like this thin, it feels like rubberized, so I don't know if it's a simulated sailcloth because it feels rubberized, but it is a separate piece. Like, because if you fold this over, you can kind of see it's a separate piece. So, and I think Nodus is actually selling their straps independently of their watches now too. So you can pick up just the strap if you want. Yeah, the crown action on it is nice. Pre-ordered the green Seamaster, can't wait, says Jesse. That's awesome. That's awesome. I just got a Nodus strap today. So Mike W actually just ordered a strap from them, and they're nice, man. They look good. Tennessee Mike, good question. Best bezel action of a watch you own, excluding Rolex? I would have to say the Pele. I mean, I could pick two, but the Pele definitely has the best 60 click, if not the best bezel action, period. Like maybe even better than Rolex. I know that's arguable thing because it's 60 click, but it's just so satisfying. It's just it's a great bezel. So other than that, obviously the subby, but like that's one of the things I like about the Super Ocean. I love the tactile feel of it. It feels like I'm cracking a bank safe. It's a very good, clean 120. I mean, the sub's better, but you said excluding Rolex. So there's still a little bit of play in it, but you can adjust these. There's little screws around the outside, so you can actually adjust the retention on that. So. Tudor best 60 click. Yep. Let's see. Oh, come on, excluding the Hanswell Dorsch Foundation. Here's a good question. Buying the same watch in different variations or buying one or two of different models? Sean. Here's a question. Buying the same watch in different variations or buying one or two of different models? There's no real rules to this game, guys. Like, we can do whatever we want. Like, you know, obviously I have multiples of certain brands. You know, I have two Breitling Super Oceans. I'm just a huge fan of that watch. I have the orange and the white, and that's part of the reason why I really like them, is because of the orange and the white. You know, you can have more than one colorway of a watch. You can have more than one brand. There's no rules. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want. Nilo says Zin U1 bezels. Yeah, Zin has some pretty good bezel action too. They kind of do the same thing as Breitling though. I think they have the adjustable on the outside, don't they? What is the steel bezel GMT on the left? SVT staying. This is it's not a watch you're going to be able to find super common. If you go to Nomen, you'll be able to find the faux patina looking one, but this is the 39 millimeter Steinhart Ocean. I don't know if it's an Ocean 1 or what it's called, but it just says Ocean GMT. This one is the OLKO version, so it has the they're really white instead of the faux patina. So it has the stark white. These are long gone. These are like difficult to find. You have to buy them secondary, but great. I think it's a great looking watch, and shockingly, it wears great on my wrist. I like the way it looks. I like the way it wears. Nice taper on the bracelet. That definitely helps. Just a good, clean, fun watch for around $600, $700, $800 or something like that. I forget what I paid. Mario says he picked up the Perrin Rogue and likes the bezel on that. Let me go check that. That's kind of like this one, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is loud. I think that's what you picked up, isn't it? Something like that. Okay, so it's been 60 minutes. I'm going to, I'm tired. So I'm going to drink this real quick, and then we're going to do a Lume shot. Hold on. Okay. Nightcap gone. All right, let's kill the lights, and we'll check the Lume. We have some fun ones here. We have some pretty good performers too. Obviously, we have the micro brands. We have Armida. We have Helson. The Lume on the Avalon is crazy good. Like, and it lasts. Typically, I don't know about your guys' experiences, but usually when you have the blue colored Lume, it's like BGW9, and it doesn't usually last as strong as, say, like the C3 X1s or whatever all night. This thing 100% lasts all night in the blue versus the green. So there's the pointers. I know people wanted to see them. But check out the Lume on this Seiko, this new Seiko. They did that orange. Look how crazy that orange is. Like, is it only Seiko that can figure this stuff out? That is a crazy good bright orange Lume for that Seiko MM-200. All right, I'm done. I'm out. See you guys in the next vid.